Hey everyone, this is going to be a special recording today, because I don't think many people talk about this. We're going to talk about how reciprocation around averages and divergences in them can define levels of support and resistance in price action. That's a fancy way of saying this is how the MACD defines support and resistance, or supply and demand, in the chart. So what your MACD is the combination of two moving averages and the difference between them. You can select that. That really doesn't matter. What we're going to look about is the divergence itself, which is the MACD. So let's talk about what support and resistance, supply and demand is first. Supply and demand, support and resistance, are areas in price in which there are a group of people who want to buy or sell, usually based on either prior orders, which I consider entangled, or some sort of future perception, which is considered observational entanglement. So what this means is as price comes up into an area where there are a large amount of sell orders, for instance, you'll see momentum slow. And we can actually pick that up objectively using the momentum properties of the MACD indicator. So I just went ahead and for a little while, every time this crossed, I missed a couple in there, but every time this crossed, like significantly, I went ahead and did a vertical. And then when that vertical intersected with price, I did a horizontal. And then I colored them based on if price bounced or cut through or bounced off them to the top. And you can see this is what you get. And this is kind of amazing to look at. You're like, how can the MACD define areas of support and resistance so well? And, well, that's exactly what it's meant to do. It's looking at momentum. It's looking at the change in slope over time. So as this slope comes up, hits this resistance, and begins to curve because it's running into that, as it curves, it flips the MACD. Same thing on the bottom. So you can use a MACD as well as just some simple coding if you want to code it yourself. This is actually, well, I guess it's not simple. It's kind of a pain in the butt to code verticals and horizontals. You have to get kind of into it, because you need... It's not something I'm going to do here. It would take me more time than I want to spend on this video. But you can also just kind of do it with your eyes. Like, let's just start doing it way over here. Just grab a bunch of verticals. You got 1, 2, 3. Skip these. 4, 5, 6. Then you come up in here with the horizontal ray. You got 1, 2, same place. 3, same place. And then let's color them. This top one is resistance, it's red. This one is support, it's green. This one's support, it's green. And that actually ends up turning into, I don't know if you saw that line that was extending through here. One of those green lines we just made ends up becoming this support bounced off there. So these are important lines. Like, we just drew this line randomly, right? I just drug it back and clicked a couple of random buttons. I didn't, that wasn't pre-selected. I actually used, for this line, I used this low, and then these. So, that actually was this one, my bad. Anyways, for this line here, I used these lows. So, off of, it was like one of these. I wanted to find one that was a little bit back and below it, just so to give me a reference point to show this green line. But yeah. So you can see how it works. It's actually incredibly simple, and the reason it works is actually incredibly mathematically valid. What you're doing is you're just measuring momentum. Oh, I guess that was support. So boom, boom, look at that, look at that. So the reason it works is just the MACD is just measuring momentum, and support and resistance will have impacts on momentum over time. And that's what the MACD is built to measure. So they can be used in all sorts of interesting ways. If you want to get like this, if you want to use support and resistance like this, find important levels. You could actually use the MACD or other momentum indicators to do that, which is something I don't see a lot of people doing, so I figured I'd make a video about it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it educational. I hope you found that entertaining or educational. If you like other videos like this, make sure to check out my channel. I do all sorts of stuff like this, interesting takes on indicators, I build strategies, do TA testing, all sorts of interesting stuff along these lines. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed it. You have a nice night.